Nader from RaidersOfLostFlicks.com, and I am joined with my co-hosts or co-guests. How do I say that? Co-guests from the fan cast, Tap and Die, and
Red
Pete,
5 standing by.
Yeah, and Pete from Wakuyon's A Place to Be Reviews, and also from the fan cast. Say hello,
honk honks standing by.
So the reason we're going live is completely impromptu, and I'm going to keep this as short as possible because I am tired as fuck. All right. But this news broke literally as I was uploading my video today. I had problems uploading my video. I had a freaking copyright claim that I was dealing with today on one of my Miami Connection videos. I had to dispute that. I'm uploading this video. It won't upload. It's taking forever to process. And I think it's because the internet literally broke when this news dropped. And I think that's why I couldn't get my YouTube video to go live when it did. So that information is almost irrelevant at this point. And that was that Spider-Man Far From Home was going to get re-released with a new scene. They're going to add 4 minutes and then put it back out in the theater. They're basically copying Endgame when they did that, and they're going to do the same thing with this one. And my thing is, okay, is this going to be all the superhero movies now, or are we going to do extra scenes and stuff that you normally would put in a Blu-ray and then stick it back in the theaters? On one hand, it's good that you're getting people to go back to the theaters again, but in the second hand, it's not good because, well, why should I see a movie now? Maybe I should wait and see the extra scenes, if they're going to dick us around like that. So that news is almost irrelevant. And now we're hearing that Spider-Man out of the MCU, if Marvel Sony can't reach a deal. And I have to confess that I have literally not had time to read this entire article. So I'm going to let Pete take over from here and read it because he's better at reading things than I am.
All right. Are we are we on the IGN?
Yeah, this is the IGN. This is Spider-Man out of the MCU if Marvel Sony can't reach deal. This is the nose. This is the nose that broke. No, this is the news that broke this afternoon, literally as I was uploading my video on the Spider-Man Far From Home re-releasing in the movie theaters. So I just don't have time to make another video and get it up because that news could be irrelevant within an hour after I get it uploaded because YouTube is kind of a mess right now. So we're just doing this one as a live one. I might still do a video on it tomorrow if news hasn't changed by then, but we'll see what happens. So Go ahead, take it away, Pete.
All right. Kevin Feige out as Spidey producer. The story has been updated since original published with new reports from the trades and our own sources. Spider-Man's future in the MCU remains unclear due to a series of reports detailing a breakdown of negotiations between Sony Pictures and Disney Marvel. Deadline first reported that Marvel will not produce any further Spider-Man films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe due to an inability between Sony Pictures and Disney to reach new terms that would have given Disney a co-financing stake moving forward. Later, Variety made Spider-Man's fate seem a bit murkier, reporting that Sony and Marvel have reached an impasse in negotiations. But that, a source indicates, a deal might still be reached between Disney and Sony, but there are no talks currently going on. One source has informed IGN that negotiations are ongoing, while a separate source tells IGN that Deadline's initial report is accurate and talks have stalled. A dispute at the top levels of both companies has essentially resulted in Feige being nixed from future Spider-Man projects if the two sides can't strike a deal. According to Deadline's original report, Disney had asked for a 50-50 co-financing agreement between the two studios on future Spider-Man films. Again, according to Deadline sources, and we're gonna talk about Deadline's quote unquote sources soon here. Sony turned down that offer. Sony proposed keeping the arrangement similar to the terms that dictated the first two Spider-Man MCU films, such that Disney would receive only 5% of the first dollar gross. Disney reportedly refused that deal. If the two parties don't return to the negotiating table, Tom Holland's Spider-Man would not be expected to appear in any further MCU movies. Presumably, Sony's future Spider-Man movies would not be able to mention Iron Man, Thanos, or any storylines regarding the MCU. That is that doesn't even hurt my feelings at all.
Me either. Yeah, me either.
I don't want to get sidetracked in the interest of time, but I just want to say it doesn't hurt my feelings, and I'm going to get to that later. Of course, Deadline's report could be a purposeful leak intended to rile up Marvel fans and force the two companies back to the bargaining table, given how beloved and seemingly integral Holland's iteration of Spider-Man is in the MCU. No, he's not. First dollar gross is a practice. Okay, this is the first dollar gross thing for those of you out there listening who might not know what that is, because I really didn't know until I got to this point in the article at first. First dollar gross is a practice in filmmaking finances that means a participant earns a percentage of the film's box office revenue on the first day of release. Stars like Leonardo DiCaprio use this practice on Inception, making more than double his usual rate as an actor because of the film's unexpected success. Deadline sources say that Disney CEO Bob Iger had spent the past several months attempting to broker a new agreement for continued Marvel and Sony partnerships. Deadline sources also say that Sony has reasoned that the studio will manage without Feige. I'm sure, and I'm sure Sony will be far better off because Venom was better than damn near any MCU movie. It's easy to, and there's an asterisk there. It's easy to see why Sony might play hardball with Spider-Man. Spider-Man Far From Home became Sony's highest grossing film ever in August, reaching 1.109 billion with a B in global box office revenue, beating its previous record holder, the James Bond 2012 film Skyfall.
So, okay, here, there's more article. All right.
Yeah. Do you want me to finish or?
Yeah. No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I didn't know if you want me to stop here or not. Okay.
No.
All right. You're right. This is also potentially why Marvel Studios declined to announce a new Spider-Man film at San Diego Comic-Con 2019, and that puzzle piece falls into place now. So Sony still holds the screen rights to Spider-Man solo films and is also the distributor, going all the way back to Sam Raimi's 2002 Spider-Man. Marvel, however, owns all the merchandising rights to Spider-Man. That's a big chunk. That's a big chunk right there. Deadline sources state that 2 additional Spider-Man movies are in the works, and that actor Tom Holland in Homecoming and Far From Home director John Watts will still be participating. Producer Amy Pascal, who has worked on every Spider-Man film universe entry since Homecoming, including Venom and Spider-Verse, will also stay on. Meanwhile, Disney completed its acquisition of 21st Century Fox back in May, spending $71.3 billion to take over the studio's intellectual properties. Those include a multitude of X-Men properties, Deadpool, Fantastic Four, and others. It's worth noting that Sony Pictures' 2018 Venom movie managed to gross over $800 million worldwide, and an announced sequel, Venom 2, will be directed by Andy Serkis. An interesting detail revealed in the Deadline story is that, let's see here, is where did I go? Is that Feige? Feige. Where's Feige? Is that Feige?
He's feeling kind of Feige today.
I'm feeling a little bit Feige. Apparently lent an unofficial hand in the development of Venom. Disney's $4 billion investment in Marvel Studios has since earned Disney more than $18 billion.
Okay, so my first question, and thanks for reading that, by the way, because I've been trying to read that, and I've had so many distractions today, it's not even funny. You did an awesome job reading that.
Thank you, sir.
So, is this a dick measuring contest? Or
it is.
Am I just being hyperbolic about it? Because my second question is Into the Spider-Verse. Who produced that? Is that also Sony?
Pascal Pictures was in on that. That was a Sony movie.
And they didn't even mention that in this article. So they've made a killing off of Into the Spider-Verse, and they made a killing, obviously, on Far From Home and Homecoming. So now they're back to we got the big dick again, and you can see your way out the door.
Well, Venom, I think Venom emboldened them. That $800 million gross out of nowhere, which I don't think they expected Venom to make $800 million.
Despite critics just lambasting that movie to hell and back.
And I said that was better than almost any MCU movie. And I really mean that. That movie was excellent. That was probably the most enjoyable role I've ever seen Tom Hardy in. And he is far better as Eddie Brock in Venom than he was as Bane. And I've said that before, and I will keep saying that. This is going to open up a veritable cornucopia of projects for Sony as far as the Spider-Man goes. All of those shelved Sony projects are now going to see the light of day. I will damn near guarantee we are already getting Morbius, the living vampire. We're already going to get a Kraven the Hunter movie next year, or not next year, but in I think a year or two. Now we're gonna see the Sinister Six.
I was just going to ask if they were going to go through with the Sinister Six thing, because I was really out of Sony Spider-Man after the first one with what's his name, the Mark Webb movie.
Oh, Andrew Garfield.
The Andrew Garfield.
Oh my
I did
God.
not like that movie at all. I hated it, and I didn't want to see another one. And some other people told me, "Well, you should probably see the second one." And I'm like, "No. Everybody says no. All the people that I trust say no, so I don't need to see that." All right.
If you want to watch that movie, okay, here's what you do. You go to the very end of the movie, search the scene, the very ending, where Andrew Garfield leaps up in the air and he's getting ready to attack Rhino, okay, which is, I believe, Paul Giamatti.
I have seen that scene. Yeah.
That scene is all you need to see, because it goes off camera as he's airborne, and you can picture Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man getting cut to ribbons by Paul Giamatti's Rhino, and you can end the movie there in your mind, and you can sleep good at night. That's exactly.
I just think it's shocking that Sony that damaged this brand. I mean, they had a huge thing going with the Raimi movies, and obviously the third Raimi movie, there was too many cooks in the kitchen, and the rest is history. I mean, we've all talked about that ad nauseum.
Yes.
Whether there was good elements or not is irrelevant. The movie was kind of a flop. I mean, it did well financially, but
$800 and some million, but it wasn't good story-wise.
Right, because people came back because the first two were so good. They expected the third to be good as well, and then it wasn't. So Sony says, you know what, we kind of screwed up the last ones. Hey, Feige, you want to help us out here? We'll let you have custody of our critter on the weekends. You can take Spider-Man out and take him to the park and show him a good time. But at the end of the day, we want him to come home. And it was a 50%. Is that what it was with the deal again? I'm trying to remember what the deal was. What they license him out.
Yes.
The MCU can borrow him, but so they fix him. All right. Endgame, he was a big deal, and then obviously everybody went and saw Far From Home, because that's the first movie post Endgame. Despite if it's an MCU movie or not, they see the Marvel logo, they see Spider-Man. They're not thinking, well, who released this one? They just want to go see the first superhero movie after Endgame to see if there's any kind of reveals or spoilers or anything like that. And now Sony's like, oh, our shit is good again. So we're just going to hang on to this, and we no longer need your services.
That's basically
Thank you. Have a nice day. Okay. I just want to make sure I got all that correct.
No, you did.
Okay. So now fans are losing their collective shit, which is why we're doing this live stream, because I'm afraid if I was to take the time and make a video and do the troll time news and everything, by the time I get that up, that everything's going to change literally overnight again, because this is big. Right. And I did say I was going to do more live streams on this show. So here we are. All right.
Yep.
Now from IGN, it's saying fans are threatening to boycott Sony PS4 over Spider-Man leaving MCU. Start petitions.
I can hear Monica right now. Oh my Lord. I can hear her rolling her eyes. From way over here.
And you know we're going to be talking about this again on the fan cast, unless something drastically changes between now and
the
Friday.
Next 30 minutes.
I'm afraid it's going to change by the time the stream's over.
I don't see them reaching a deal. And to me, this boycott, this is just a knee-jerk reaction by the fans. And I'm sorry, but I was talking to my wife about this, because I was like, I have to do a video on this earlier. I hurried up and did a video. It was my second video of the day, which I didn't want to do, but as soon as we're done here, I'm going to do
it. I was having a hard time just getting the one video done today and uploaded.
I'm going to do a third one as soon as we're done here.
Yeah, I'll probably do something tomorrow, but man, I don't know what's going to happen with this before. It's like if I'd have known this, I could have condensed this news in with the one that I already did. Now it's like, now I gotta make another video. Not that it's hard; it's just editing, making it kind of fun, making it kind of funny, putting a twist on it. Yeah, it gets time involved, and you gotta make the thumbnail and.
Did you? I don't know. I used the original Spider-Man music in mine earlier. I was like, you know what? I'm like, I'm just gonna go for it. I don't even. My channel's still small enough. I can get away with it.
I have copyright claims. In fact, I was disputing one today. I had one over Miami Connection, and
really,
it was the one where I showed the scene with those guys arguing in the club. The one I think was so funny.
Yep.
Yeah, that one had a claim on it, and I disputed it, and I got them to pull back on it. But the people that filed the claim are not putting out that movie anymore. So I'm like, what? I'm not monetized. What are you claiming? You know, it's like you're claiming that I watched a scene and I'm talking over it. I mean, really? You know,
yes.
That was literally the scene that they did the claim on. So I think I've done enough scenes on Miami Connection. I mean, we're doing the watch party. By the way, for all you guys that are watching, these are the two guys that will be part of the live watch party for that as well. So, oh, hey, Monica's with us. Hello, Monica.
Hey, Monica.
Hello, Benevolent. Hello, Nomads, Cheap and Nerdy.
Hashtag, oh my lord.
Thanks for joining us for this impromptu show. I promise I'm going to keep this short, but I do want to go back into this before I lose my place. And I need to do back the screen share again. There we go. And Chrome. Okay. So fans are threatening to boycott Sony PS4 over Spider-Man leaving the MCU. Start petitions. The bombshell news that the Marvel Studios may not produce any more Spider-Man films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe has left many fans angry at Sony for not agreeing to new terms. So angry that several are claiming they'll boycott future Sony films and even Sony's PlayStation 4 over the ordeal. Some petitions to keep Spider-Man in the MCU are also starting to gain attention. Across the internet, hashtag Boycott Sony is gaining traction as fans desperately voice their hope that Spider-Man will remain in the MCU. Many seem to be complaining as a way to keep Spider-Man in the MCU. For the record, companies are still in negotiations, so there's some hope left, but others appear to be completely serious about the boycott. And here we go. Can we hashtag Boycott Sony trending, please? I just want my Spidey back in the MCU. All us MCU fans coming together, boycott Sony, like, you know, boycott the video game because the movie's not in, you know,
that makes no fucking sense.
It's the same company, but they're still completely separate entities operating within the same stratosphere. You know what I mean? Like the video game people have nothing to do with the movie people. You do realize that, correct? This seems weird to me.
Can I just say, I'm looking at these people on Twitter that are boycotting it, and I guarantee you about half of these cucks have their pronouns listed in their fucking Twitter profiles and their bios.
Look at this one. This face needs saved. Does this look like a face that needs to be saved?
Right. He's making millions of dollars.
He's going to be fine.
Pretending.
He'll probably, I don't think he cares if he's working for Sony or Disney as long as his paycheck clears by the end of the day. I know if I was him, I wouldn't.
That kid is 24 years old. He doesn't give a goddamn what studio he's making movies with, because he's making a couple $1 million a movie by the time it's all said and done, and he gets to play Spider-Man, one of the most iconic characters in the history of comics,
and he's doing a pretty good job. Like I said, my only gripe is I don't like the super suit. They're doing that thing from Iron Man. That was fine for Iron Man. I don't like. I like, you know, him as him not talking to his suit. It just seems a little weird to me. I get why they do it, but I'm not crazy about it. That's my only gripe.
The Iron Spider suit it's cool, but I don't want to see Spider-Man as Iron Man. He's Spider-Man. He's not.
It feels like they're going that route because it's like, whoa, wow, the fans are gonna be really upset that there's no Tony Stark anymore. We got to replace him with somebody.
You first of all, replacing RDJ is never going to happen. So, you know, Tom Holland is a fine actor, and he seems like.
And you know damn well Gwyneth Paltrow ain't gonna pick up and take over that reign.
Right? She's crazy. She's got an internet site to run.
they might do a female Iron Man, but it sure as hell ain't gonna be Gwyneth Paltrow. She is not committed to that whatsoever.
She didn't even know Samuel Jackson was in the MCU, for God's sake. She's been in 5 or 6 movies with him.
Wait, Samuel Jackson was in the MCU?
I thought it was Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah. Well, he didn't have the cockeye, so I knew it wasn't Forrest Whitaker.
Oh my God, no! So this guy made a terrible move. They can't just pull out Spidey when he's already neck deep in the MCU storyline. Like they're just.
That's what she said.
I was thinking that too, dude.
Yep.
Everything he went through was a bad dream, and that the Avengers don't exist. This has to be a joke. So there's
Click on that guy's profile. See if he's good.
all over the wazoo tomorrow. This is all we're going to hear about for the rest of the week. Is this, unless it changes.
Let's see. Let's see his profile. He's got Tom Holland as his fucking profile picture.
Oh, cheers. Yeah. I know. So I'm looking at like, what the heck?
Hey, bruh.
It's kind of like the people that used to argue with me on my videos, and they'd have a Captain Marvel picture as their profile pic. I'm like, okay, well, we're just a little biased here.
Hashtag 2DEKU. Gay rights, pronouns she, her.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So I'm not going to read the rest of this article, but I am going to move to this next one that Pete brought to my attention.
Yes.
And
why'd you do that?
This is from Deadline, because I don't want to keep these people awake all night. I'm tired, and I promised a short show, and I'm going to keep it short. So go ahead, Pete. You have
here we go.
Sir.
All right. First of all, this Mike Fleming Jr. that wrote this article and this is coming from Midnight's Edge, who just released a video on this. Andre himself, Mike, very good, man, very good.
Yeah, I love Midnight's Edge.
Their content is spot on, and I really respect their work. Have me on your stream, Midnight's Edge.
Yeah, same here. We'll come as a package deal.
We come as a package deal, and you get Monica with us, so you do get some. You don't just get.
Also, if you want to be a guest on the fan cast, just contact one of you. I think we can pencil you in.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I would be fanboying for Andre. I think I'm probably older than him, but I'd be like fanboying out for Andre. But Mike Fleming here that wrote this article for Deadline, he is Tom Rothman's source. When Sony Pictures or Tom Rothman wants to drop something without issuing a official press release, Mike Fleming is the guy that they go to. And this is per Midnight's Edge in their last video, and you can check that out yourself after you leave, after we're done here tonight. So let's get into this article here. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige won't produce any further Spider-Man films because of an inability by Disney and Sony Pictures to reach new terms that would have given the former a co-financing stake going forward. A dispute that has taken place over the past few months at the top of Disney and Sony has essentially nixed Feige and the future involvement of Marvel from the Spider-Man universe, sources said. Hashtag nix Feige. This comes at a moment when the last two films Kevin Feige produced broke all-time records. Disney's Avengers Endgame became the highest grossing film of all time, and Spider-Man Far From Home this weekend surpassed the James Bond film Skyfall to become the highest all-time grossing film for Sony Pictures. Sources said there are two more Spider-Man films in the works that are meant to have director John Watts and Tom Holland front and center, although Watts doesn't have a deal for the next picture. Unless something dramatic happens, Feige won't be the lead creative producer of those pictures. There is a lot of webbing here, but it all comes down to money, and it's easy to understand why both sides. Webbing.
Really?
Nice pun.
That was kind of cringy.
Yeah. Yeah. Both sides refused to give ground. Disney asked the future Spider-Man films be given a 50-50 co-financing arrangement between studios, and there were discussions that this might extend to other films in the Spider-Man universe. Sony turned down that offer flat. Sources said that Sony, led by Tom Rothman and Tony Vinciquerra.
Good luck with that name. I'm not even going to try.
Vinciquerra came back to other configurations, but Disney didn't want to do that. But Sony did not want to share its biggest franchise. Sure, Disney would be putting up half the funding, but the risk is how much you're going to make back in profit. Disney wasn't at all interested in continuing the current terms where Marvel receives in the range of 5% of the first dollar gross, sources said. Now, it's easy to say that Feige has enough on his plate, especially after taking control of the X-Men universe and the Fox acquisition, including the Deadpool franchise, along with architecting the next phase of the Marvel superhero universe and building movies and shows for Disney+. But I'm told Feige loves Spider-Man, arguably the biggest superhero character in the Marvel canon. He would have continued if Disney and Sony could have reached New Deal terms. Essentially, this means that Sony will have to try to win a championship without Michael Jordan. I don't really see it that way.
No, I don't either. Yeah.
I don't. After all, Feige's first decade at Marvel is largely unblemished, and his consistency has been nothing short of historic. Even George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, and Peter Jackson haven't seen everything turn into a hit. And so maybe only James Cameron has had the success that Feige has achieved. But Feige has done it all in the last 10 years, producing and overseeing 23 superheroes with not a flop in the bunch. They've all been number one openers that have collectively grossed $26.8 billion. Feige this year became the producer of the top grossing film ever for two studios, Sony and Disney. And he produced 3 of the top 4 highest grossing films this year, with Avengers Endgame, Cat Pan Meh, and Spider-Man Far From Home. This after scoring the first ever Best Picture Oscar nom for
that was so forced,
film
though. God,
with
that was
Black
so forced.
Panther. And I love Black Panther, but that was unnecessary.
Yeah, that was forced.
Completely unnecessary. I can't think of a Hollywood producer executive who has done anything close to this. I think Harvey Weinstein did, but it was for different reasons. And the launch of the new iteration of Spider-Man was done brilliantly with Marvel's support and help. It has been a boon to both studios. Tom Holland's character was introduced in the Joe and Anthony Russo directed 2016 blockbuster Captain America: Civil War, the film that set up the 2 record-breaking Avengers films. Sony's first rebooted Spidey film, 2017 Spider-Man: Homecoming, rode that Marvel wave and grossed $880 million worldwide. And then the web slinger was a key character in the 2 Avengers films, leading to the Spidey sequel that this week became Sony's top grossing film ever. Sources said Disney's top brass for the past several months has sought new terms for Feige and the Marvel cross-pollination to continue. As the Spider-Man relationship grew, Feige and Sony Pictures chief Tom Rothman spoke about the possibility of a wider involvement in the Sony-controlled Spider-Man universe, which contains 900 characters. It is understandable that fiscally shrewd Rothman would balk at giving up half of Sony's biggest franchise to Marvel. After all, Marvel already owns the merchandising on Spider-Man. Does the mouse really need half of the movie universe also? No, they don't. Sony so far has decided that as valuable as Feige is, Disney is asking too high a price. Kudos to Sony. Sources say that Sony has reasoned they will be fine without Feige. The creative template has been set on the Spider-Man films, and Watt and Holland are in place along with Amy Pascal. I don't know if Amy Pascal in place is a good thing. Who became producer with Feige after she exited the executive suite after presiding over the 2 previous Spider-Man iterations directed by Sam Raimi and Mark Webb.
I think that was her. I think that was her job. I think her job was to put Mark Webb in charge of Spider-Man because his last name was Webb, and she probably thought that was cute.
Yeah.
Knowing Amy Pascal, that was probably the case. We lost Pete. I got to add him back in. Sorry, folks.
Hillary got to him.
I'm back.
No problem, dude. We were just joking about Amy Pascal's biggest involvement with Spider-Man was probably putting a guy named Mark Webb in charge of Spider-Man because she thought Webb and Spider was cute.
She thought it was fucking funny. She did.
Oh yeah,
like the funniest thing ever.
You know, and I don't know why.
I mean, this is the same woman that greenlighted Ghostbusters 2016. So this woman is not your friend, you know. So
no.
Yep.
Still, part of me is kind of rooting for Sony on this one. I gotta admit, but we'll let you finish your article first.
I'm on the same team with you on this one. Let's see. Before Amy Pascal kicked me off the stream, Amy Pascal, who became producer with Feige after she exited the executive suite over presiding over the previous iteration directed by Raimi and Webb of Sony Pictures chief. And sources note that Venom was a problem picture and far from the polished product that grossed $856 million worldwide until Rothman himself spent a good long time in the editing room helping develop it. Get there. I don't believe that Tom Rothman helped edit the film.
No. I don't know. I don't know.
Nope.
Yeah.
He didn't.
I didn't see Venom, so I can't really judge that one yet. It's just one of those things I have not had time to sit down and watch Venom. I didn't have all that emotional involvement to that character anyway. So
I'll have to see it eventually. It's on my brother's Hulu. I'll see it eventually.
There we go. Okay, yeah, this is really starting to piss me off because I've got a cable hooked up now.
Cool.
So I don't know why it's still doing this.
Still kicking you off, huh? Yeah, it must be the router. But anyways, I'm going to open the floor up to any of our watchers. If you have any questions for us on this, my only take on this, I just feel like Sony's moving a little too quick on this one. You know, like Captain Marvel was big before because it was going into Endgame, and Spider-Man was big because it was the first one coming off of Endgame, and Endgame sucked all of the wind out of Hollywood.
Yeah,
all at once. And I think that's why other movies are failing this year, because I think people went back and saw that maybe twice, and then they thought, well, I ain't got no money left to go see any of these other movies, and that's probably the only one I care about anyway. So if they went and saw 2 movies this year, they probably went and saw Spider-Man and they went and saw Endgame because they're committed to the MCU. All right, so No Math Cheap and Nerdy says, what do you think Sony will do with Spider-Man if they don't agree with Disney?
Oh, I mean, there is a veritable cornucopia of things they're going to do. Like I said, you've got the Kraven the Hunter movie that's already planned. You've got Morbius coming out, and I believe these are all going to be in the same universe. Plus, they are already developing a Silver Sable and Black Cat movie. This article says that, but I read something about that months ago, and I really didn't think anything of it because I'm like, yeah, well, you know, it's probably never going to happen. But yeah, they're going to tie Silver Sable, Black Cat in. And do you guys remember the Sinister Six film that got shelved? Do you remember how? Do you remember how in the leaks prior to Far From Home that there was that Sinister Six post-credit scene that was teased or rumored to be there? We're gonna get that movie now. We're gonna get that Sinister Six movie. I am so excited to see that movie finally, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they cast David Morrissey as he was the governor on AMC's The Walking Dead, the guy with the eye patch. He would be an excellent Norman Osborn. So I'm really excited.
You think they're gonna probably do like a semi reboot, like something that it's not the MCU, but it'll be like that way they could put Venom and all that stuff in there?
They're going to have to do something to tie it together. So there's gonna be some.
Oh yeah, but I mean, just like I said, semi, not like they're gonna do a whole brand new Spider-Man. Is what I mean. They're gonna keep Tom Holland, obviously.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Like I said he was 24. He's 23 years old actually, but
you got it wrong.
So he can play a little bit older. You know, I think they use the multiverse thing to tie it together. That's how.
Well, that's the other thing is I think it's healthy to have competition against Disney and the MCU, because I don't agree that they should have absolutely everything.
No.
If Sony had some misses, well, of course, but they also had a few hits. So I hope this works for them. I really do. I'm glad that somebody's standing up to Disney. But at the same time, I think maybe they swung a little too soon on this one.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, they could have kept a little hush hush, you know.
Yeah, even if this was the long con from the get go, I would have waited to see if the next movie does as well as the one coming directly off the heels of Endgame. If that one did good too, if not better, then maybe I'd run with this. But so far, their big. Their big move is to put it back in the theater again so you can watch a whopping 4 minutes of edited footage that was chopped out of the original. What do you guys think about that? I mean, do you think that's cool for movies to do this? Is this going to be like a regular thing now?
Hell no, that's so stupid.
Yeah, I think it's asking a lot of customers to go back and pay $15 again just to watch the 4 minutes. If anything, if you gave them like a discount ticket when you saw it the first time, or if you produced a stub or any kind of proof that you saw it for, we'll let you see it again for half price plus an extra 4 minutes. Might be a little bit more manageable, but asking people to come back again for 4 minutes, I don't know.
What happened to the director's cut on DVD thing? That's still a thing. Yep. They can still do that.
Or, if you're like me, why not just say, fuck going to the movies and just wait it out and wait for the Blu-ray to come out so I have everything,
Yep.
Yeah.
I went to see this in the theater once. I paid $8 to go see it in a little bougie ass theater. I'm not going back to see it for 4 minutes when I could probably go on YouTube and find the 4 minutes there.
It's bourgeois.
By next week. I'm not gonna pay. They're not getting any more money out of me for this movie. I didn't like it that much. It wasn't. I didn't think this was that great of a damn Far From Home anyway. But like you said, there's just those Spider-Man fans that are going to spend that money on anything with the Spider-Man logo on it. So it's I can't get behind that. Like Endgame. I don't care what you add to Endgame. I saw it in the theater twice already. I went to see it twice because I was going to review it and I wanted to be accurate on it. And there's a lot you can't.
Sometimes it's a lot to take in the first time because
That's what she said.
I knew
you set yourself up.
I set myself up for that. I walked right into that, ladies and gentlemen.
what
Dark
she
Ness,
said.
welcome. I know you were the first one here, so hello,
Hey,
Dark Ness.
Hello, Darkness, my old friend.
So, do we want to answer Monica's question? She wanted to know who's sucking Feige's dick while writing this. I think she was referring to your the Deadline article.
Oh no, that guy's not he's not a Feige guy. That's a Rothman guy right there, man. He's not from
Cheese
the Feige
Larson
camp.
is.
Yeah, Cheese Larson.
She's the one sucking his Feige's dick.
But I love that you highlighted her comment. But the fact is that would you really want Brie Larson to give you dome? I don't think I would.
I don't.
I wouldn't. That's like head I would turn down. That is head I would definitely turn down. No, really, I don't. This guy is, like I said, this guy is kind of a Rothman guy. He's not a Disney shill. He's not Scott Mendelson. He's not a Mendelson. So I'm in Sony's corner on this one. Like I said, I report on the MCU. I enjoy the MCU films, but Disney is a fucking behemoth, and sometimes that behemoth needs to get knocked down a few pegs. And
real soon, I think.
Yep. And the MCU is going full blown woke. So and to see them pull Spider-Man out now and take him over to the Sony, Spider-Verse. Now, as long as we don't get another amazing Spider-Man faux pas, except this time starring Tom Holland, I'm all right with it. But I want to see Spider-Man out of high school. In the Raimi trilogy, Tobey Maguire was in high school for what? The first act of the movie, if that, and he had graduated.
Yeah. First act of the first movie.
Yeah,
yes, the rest of him, he was way out of high school, in college.
Yeah. Yes, so I'm done with the high school Spider-Man. Like, Jesus, dude. Please, can we stop?
Yeah, that was my problem with Homecoming, is I feel like it was aiming towards an audience that is much younger than I am. I still like it. I liked the movie for what it was, but it wasn't. It's not even on par with the Raimi Spider-Man. At least the first two. It's just not. It's hard to do something behind somebody else when it was already good. It didn't need to be remade. And this is one of those things. God, whatever you do, please don't reboot this fucking franchise again. Just don't.
No.
Do not do it again. I will be so done if you try to reintroduce Spider-Man with somebody else at this point. I can't take it anymore.
Take it off. Take it
real good. Take it real good.
Take it, baby. Take it now. Take it like that.
Or if you're going to do that, if you want to just make more cartoons like Into the Spider-Verse, I guess that's fine. I'm okay with that. I don't really have I'm not going to sit here and rip on a cartoon. That's not fair. You know what I mean? And I'm saying this from being a former GameStop manager. All little boys love Spider-Man. Period. Mm-hmm. They all do.
Yes, they do.
Never met a little kid, doesn't matter what country he grew up in, they all know and identify and understand Spider-Man. So I will not say anything bad about the cartoons, but the movies, stop trying to change them into something that they're not. Stop trying to reboot the franchise every 5 years. And for God's sakes, if you really want to compete against Marvel, I think your best bet is to go not woke. And that's what worries me about Sony, because these are the same people that did Ghostbusters 2016. So I can't trust them. They also did Men in Black International.
Yep.
How'd that work out for you? I mentioned that on today's video. So
Well, you'd think that was that would be some kind of indicator to them moving forward. But Venom, really, there was nothing woke in Venom. There really wasn't. Um, you said you hadn't seen that yet, Adam?
No, I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna watch it at
Okay.
some point.
It's
I'm a little bit backed up. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen Bumblebee yet. I heard that was pretty good.
I haven't watched that. I'm going to rent that for my son because
I'm
he
kind of one
really
of those
likes
people
Bumblebee.
where you're only as good as your last movie, and you know,
Yeah.
since the last two Spider-Man movies were kind of, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm a little behind with some of those. Venom looked like it was kind of cheesy. I don't know,
it was good.
Yeah. I haven't seen Aquaman yet either. I'm a little bit behind. I'm always watching the old dumb movies so I can do reviews and stuff like that. So I kind of gravitate towards those first. But
Yeah.
this is big news, and it's probably something we'll be covering on your show and then also on the fan cast. So
Wait, Monica called me a bigot, masochist white man. Well, I'm not a bigot. I am a white man, and I am definitely a masochist. This,
by the way,
Yeah.
Monica, this live
He eats
stream was
meat.
this was totally an impromptu thing that I just decided to do because it was so much easier than making another video after I produced one today. So I didn't want to have to do another one, then hurry up and try to upload it again and sit around for 2 hours while it waits to upload and gives me a hard time. So
she was
thought,
calling you
we'll do it
names.
live.
She was
Probably
calling
was
you
calling me.
names.
Yeah,
she
probably
was.
was calling. She's calling me a bigot because I said that all little boys love Spider-Man. Yes, girls do too. But I just remember my customers, whenever somebody was buying a video game for a little kid, I says, a boy or a girl? All right. As a boy, I said, definitely buy something Spider-Man. And they were always happy. So that's why I said that.
Dude, Spider-Man is the most recognizable superhero on Earth, probably next to like Batman or Superman. Them are like, but I would say Spider-Man. I don't know. It's like tough to call between those. Those are like the three probably biggest ones on Earth, I would say, that are like, because everybody knows who Superman is. Like,
yes, Monica, I'm sorry.
Just like Batman.
Right?
Everyone knows who
Little
Batman is.
girls like Spider-Man too. Girls like Spider-Man too. Yes, I addressed
Prove it, Monica. Prove it right now.
speaking of,
And you can't say you.
speaking of girls and spider things and all things spider, they are developing a live action SpiderGwen movie right now too.
Oh, bring back
So-
Spider Babe.
I want to see what was that? What the hell is that chick's name? I was talking about in the comment. No. I want to see the villain, the chick that was with Doc Ock that became Stunner. I want to see that from the. Hang on, let me look it up here real quick.
Stone Cold Stunner.
No. It's funny. It's funny because she's kind of like a big chick, but she uses this avatar of this like. She's like this like jacked like kind of like female superhero body, and she beats the shit out of Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
It's from the Superior Spider-Man run. I think. Let me find the Superior Spider-Man number 21. I think is their first meeting. She like just rips the arms off the Iron Spider suit.
By the way, does anybody else have any more questions for us before I wrap this up?
Besides Monica.
I promise to keep this a short stream because we're all old and tired. Well, I'm old and tired. I don't know about these guys, but
I'm old. I'm not tired. I'll be up all night.
I'm definitely
There he
old and
goes.
tired. Yeah, I'm afraid if I make a video, it'll be irrelevant by the time I upload the damn thing on this topic. So I want to keep. Nomad's Cheap and Nerdy wants a Doc Ock Spider-Man live action. I just want a Doctor Doom movie.
Oh yes,
Give me a damn Doctor Doom movie. I know I've said that before, but that's one
Doc
villain
Ock
that
Spider-Man. That'd be cool too.
Doc Ock's already been done well in Spider-Man 2. I loved Doc Ock in that movie. I think he's an interesting villain. Now I want to see a proper Doctor Doom. I don't want to see some guy from Nip Tuck, morph into a metal dude.
It's morphin' time.
dun, dun. Oh wait, what do you say? No man, Doctor Doom solo film. I have been
a Doctor Doom solo
yes.
movie. I want to see a movie because that's one thing the MCU has not done yet. They have not done a movie where the villain is the protagonist. And you can't count Thanos because that was built up through other movies. That doesn't count. Those are Avengers movies, not
Civil War.
Yeah, not Thanos movie. I want to see the villain. I want to see the villain as the protagonist of the movie.
Adam, you and I have been talking about a Doctor Doom solo movie.
Yeah.
We basically
that's the thing. All right, Warner Brothers is going to beat them too because they're doing a Joker movie now. Now MCU needs to, or Sony, whoever can go first, needs to make a Doctor Doom movie, and I mean quick. And don't do it so fast that it sucks, but make a good one.
DC did one already.
I want Mads Mikkelsen. I want him as Dr. Doom.
You know who else we're going to see probably now from Sony Pictures as a villain for Spidey would be Kang. What is it? Kang the Conqueror. He's a.
Kang.
Do you know who are you not familiar with Kang?
No, I'm not.
I've heard of him, but the way Kang, like they used to say, we was Kangs.
Yeah, we was Kangs. Yeah.
That's what
Oh
I
my
mean.
god. Oh my god. I wasn't even thinking that. No, Kang is, now that you mention it though, that's funny.
There he goes.
Yep, there he goes. We lost him. So, any other questions, anybody? I'll bring Pete on at least to say goodbye so we can plug things, and then we're going to wrap this up here.
He's probably late.
Hopefully, he comes back. We're waiting on you, Pete. I believe in Pete. There he is.
There he goes. Here he comes. Here he comes.
I said, "Fuck it, I'll just leave the camera on." No, Kang the Conqueror is before Disney cuts me out of the stream again for giving away industry secrets. No, Kang the Conqueror is like a time traveling villain, and I'm pretty sure he was featured pretty prominently in some of the older Spidey comics. So if they want to do, and what I think would be a good way to introduce Spider-Man into like the Venom verse that they're building now, because the sequel to Venom is already being filmed. Is to do a multi-dimensional kind of thing, except like they did with Mysterio, except for actually have it be another dimension, so they could tie it together that way. I mean, it makes sense, but what are you gonna do? I'm not Amy Pascal.
I know, right?
Thank God.
Yeah,
Thank God I'm not.
Amy Pascal, it's amazing. She's still employed.
That's too bad.
After that Sony hack, man.
I don't know how the fuck she has a job after that email leak.
Was,
there was so much shit
that was some
out.
of my favorite news ever that year, man. Holy
yeah, I remember.
I really wasn't even like, I didn't have a YouTube channel or anything then. I was DJing.
Oh, that made me start watching a lot of YouTube when that was going down. Yeah.
I talked about it on the air though. Because I would do some, obviously I was DJing, so I would do some entertainment reporting. And I remember I talked about the recasting of Spider-Man Far From Home and how they did a bunch of the race swaps with the characters, and that was a big deal. And then the email leaks, of course. So it was just, now, being a YouTuber, it's like I pray for something like that to happen. It's like, please hack some other company and release all their internal documents to us. That would just be wonderful.
So anyways, I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm going to be on Pete's channel tomorrow. We're doing a live stream there. And then also, if you guys are not aware, I am on the Fancast every Friday night unless something gets canceled. So I left links to both of those shows in the chat. Click on those, subscribe to those channels. Pete, why don't you go ahead and plug your show, and then we're going to get out of here.
Hey, if you're here checking out Raiders of the Lost Flicks, why don't you pop on over to Itepuku? It's the place to be reviews. There's 50 or 60 some videos up there you can check out now. I just did a Spider-Man one about an hour or two ago. We're going to do another one. Itepuku is a place to be reviews. We do live stream podcast episodes every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern. Recorded episodes are available on Anchor, iTunes, and Spotify under the place to be reviews. I'm on the Fancast with Adam every Friday night at 8:30 Eastern on the Fancast channel.
I will post these links in the comment section too, so you guys can get to them if you haven't got to them yet. There's Pete's show, and then the Fancast on Friday. Of course, we'll probably be talking about these subjects in a little bit more detail. So check us out there. Anybody else got any questions? We're going to head on out. I want to thank everybody for stopping by and visiting us. We hope you've enjoyed this broadcast. And I am the Groovinator. You guys have yourselves a groovy day. Peace.
Peace out.
Peace.